Guys, I'm going to dive right into it as we have a lot of important content to cover here. In the first bit, I'm going to give a quick update regarding COVID 19. Then I'm going to follow up with some reports and suggestions we've got back from our private medical team and advisors who we believe will end up playing a key role helping guide all parties in all jurisdictions across Canada with the return of live events in MMA and kickboxing. First item I want to make sure to point out is that we will not hold our next event until our team of advisors is fully confident that we can run an event with certainty that all parties are safeguarded against the transmission of COVID 19. Based on our progress to acquire COVID 19 testing and many other resources that we need to meet our criteria to run a safe event, we are looking at least another 3 to 4 weeks before we can put forth a proper proposal to different commissions across Canada and US to run an event with no fans. We are being told by our medical advisory team that has reached out to different locations in Canada and the US that until a vaccine is found, normal events with large crowds are pretty much done. And the quickest vaccine we're being told was Ebola, which took about 18 months. So if we get lucky and it's the exact same timeline as the fastest vaccine ever, we're looking at next summer for live events. So even for example, Canucks, a major sport entity that has direct impact on the economy here, what they're looking at likely is if you go to a Canucks game, this is a best case scenario. You go to a Canucks game, you're sitting here, the person they won't sell a ticket to your left, to your right, in front of you, and behind you. Those 4 seats need to be empty because of social distancing. Now we asked them how do you watch a game with your friend if you can go, and they said, well, if you purchase the tickets together you can sit together as a group, but then your group won't have anybody in the front, behind, to your left or to your right. So I think if I'm doing the math correctly, a sellout would be 1/4 of what it was before. So take that to an MMA event, average tickets to 1,200 tickets. Now you can only get 300 people in the same arena basically. Now I mean, and this stuff is just as of today. Things are changing quickly. It could get worse. It could get better. We don't know. We're just relaying the information to all the fighters and the fans so they know what's going on. Events with over 500 people are pretty much done from the sounds of things till summer of next year. The way it's being relayed to us, and that again, if things don't change. And just to give you a little insight, regional MMA promotions are almost all 95% of their gross income comes from ticket sales. Even the handful of promotions that are on UFC Fight Pass, they get their 15 to 50K from UFC Fight Pass depending on the size of the promotion. Even those events are solely dependent on ticket sales to survive. So basically regional MMA logically is done. Logically. So as we've seen throughout the last week, UFC is moving their model towards developing their own talent. Dana White came out and said the Ultimate Fighter is coming back. So that gives them another avenue to introduce fighters through their own platform, as they've always done a good job doing that through the Contender. And as regional MMA gets scarce and they don't have the pool of guys graduating to the UFC, they're gonna run their own minor leagues obviously through the Contenders and the Ultimate Fighter, like they've always done. So that's just going to increase. Now, we have adjusted our business revenue model so we can survive and continue to do shows without selling a single ticket. Now, that's a very complex model, and it would require a video on its own, and we will put that out when it's time to put it out. I don't think it's necessary to put it out here, but this means that similar to the UFC, we are ready to come back soon, obviously, and our return to action should be much easier, as our proposal to different commissions will be to return to a venue with 0 fans, which makes things a lot safer and a lot easier to control. Now, we might come back in BC and we might not. That will obviously depend on many different things. Now, guys, I know a lot of people have different beliefs about this virus. We are getting a lot of support from people, and they're thanking us for putting in extensive work to come back to action as soon as possible. But obviously, we're also getting some slack from people saying, hey, maybe there should be no MMA or kickboxing shows till the pandemic is completely done. Now, I would like to bring up this point that in a MMA fighter's and a kickboxer's career, we have you have a short time period. It's not, you don't have a lot of time. So our champions like Jamie, Deanne, Kaio, Jared, and Achilles, they're I think all of them are at their point. They're so close to taking the next step to making the big money, and a lot of them need that next fight right away. So when we come back to action, we're not going to contact any fighter for matchmaking. Only if you as a fighter feel comfortable and you feel it's necessary for you to fight, you contact us, and we will make every effort to get you a fight and keep you busy till this pandemic is over. My personal stance is that people should wait. But as a company, we have done and we will continue to do everything we need to do to be the first promotion to put on live events, obviously besides the big four. I believe they should make an effort to come back earlier. We know PFL has canceled all events till next summer. Bellator, they lost their TV deal for next year. They're not renewing, so they're probably figuring things out. There's a lot going on, but we should be back soon. We are confident with our legal team and our medical advisors that we've put together. We can put together a very safe proposal in different jurisdictions to come back to action in empty arenas, hopefully after the summer. This is a crucial time that we all need to work together to keep the shows from vanishing from this country, as the fighters will continue to need a platform to show their skills, and perhaps more importantly, market their schools, which in turn has a direct impact on many people's incomes and subsistence. Now, any promoter across Canada or the US that needs our help, we are open to unilateral agreements with them, so they have access to our legal and medical advisory team to keep the sport alive. Now, to be clear, we are not looking to co-promote with anyone specifically, or we are not looking for any bilateral agreements, only unilateral agreements. I hope that just covers everything and that everybody is safe.